On today's episode of the Bolt Crew podcast, well, that one hurt. Today's game, was it better or worse than you expected? We'll break it down for you. We'll tell you what we liked and what we didn't. With the playoff matchups nearly set, we look ahead to the upcoming week. And as the Chargers get ready for the Patriots, what do we like and dislike about that matchup? Plus, we're going to take your questions and comments as well. It all starts right now on the Bolt Crew podcast.
Hey, yeah, hey, it's the Bolt Crew, and we always winning. Hey, go against us, I don't recommend it. Hey, it's the Bolt Crew, best up in the business. It's the Bolt Crew, repping for the city. Macking on and off the field like Khalil. They hate on us cause we keep it too real. I'm talking smack like Phil Rivers in the field. Oh, you mad again cause we kept it real? Why you mad? Hey, I'm talking smack, I feel like Uncle Dave. Hey, I bring the pain, I feel like Derwin James. I could run and gun, I feel like Herbo down the lane. I feel like LT the way I'm stiff arming these lanes. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah. Ay, we just wanna win, we just wanna win, ay. Putting on for the city, putting on for the city. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bolt Crew podcast. Dave Palet, Josh Palet, Mario Heron not with us for the post game. He said, look, if the starters aren't going to show, I'm not showing. So we said, okay, we're going to do the show without you. And here we are. We'll be back with Mario in a couple days, though, of course, getting ready to knock out another show. But here we go. Chargers finished out the regular season, Josh. They lose 19-3 to the Denver Broncos. Always stinks when you lose to the Broncos. At the same time, this game was a game that was a throwaway as the Chargers went about it. They sat as many players as they possibly could, and the Chargers end up losing the game. Losses always stink to me. Like, I don't care. If there's a scoreboard involved, it always bothers me to finish on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Jim Harbaugh did what was right, meaning he got guys healthy, because next week it's do or die for the rest of the way, meaning it's playoff time, and that's what you wanted all along. Your goal is to get into the postseason. There was a time during the season, Josh, where people said this team wasn't going to make the playoffs, and sure enough, they went on a tremendous run and really a tough time. And here they are in the postseason, getting ready to take on the Patriots next weekend. Hopefully we'll get an idea quickly if that's a Saturday game or if it's a Sunday game. But there's a lot going on. We'll start with today's game, okay? They lose 19-3. People wanted to see Trey Lance. They wanted to see other guys get an opportunity. What was your impression of what you saw today?
I thought the defense was great. I mean, how much can you expect from the defense when the offense can't move the ball? The Broncos continually had good field position, and they couldn't do anything. I mean, the Broncos didn't even score a touchdown in this game. I thought the defense was as good as you could have hoped for. The Broncos offense is what we said they were. They're an average offense at best, and they proved it today. If the Broncos can't score more than that against the Chargers backups, I don't know how confident you feel as a Broncos fan.
Yeah, here's the deal. I'm going to say something I know it's not going to make people happy, and I'm not doing it just to upset Bronco fans. I'm being honest with you. For a long time, I said the Chargers have an opportunity to reach the Super Bowl because nobody in the AFC to me stands out as untouchable. There's one team in there that I give a little bit of credit to, and that's Jacksonville. Otherwise, I like the matchup we have, right? You're going to face New England, and then you're probably going to face Jacksonville the following week. And then when we make it to the AFC Championship game and we're facing the Denver Broncos again, dude, I got news for you. There's no way this Bronco team is beating our team. Not when we're fully stacked. I'm sorry. If you're a Denver fan that went into this game like this was a playoff game because it meant you had a bye next week, you have to be asking yourself a lot of questions. How good is this team? I think there are a lot of people in Denver that should be worried right now, not just taking on a Charger team, but at the same time, your first game is probably against the Texans. I'd be worried right now if I was a Bronco fan. Great, you got the number one seed. You can fall right in line with the Tennessee Titans a few years ago, who had the number one seed. Bengals came to town and knocked their asses right out in game one. So if that's the avenue you want to take and puff your chest out and say, we're the Broncos and we have a history and it's 10 years since the Super Bowl was in Santa Clara and we're going back 10 years later, I don't think so. I wouldn't be so happy with that 19-3 win. That score right there isn't exactly what happened today. That's not one of those where the score dictates that they did not dominate a Charger team that they should have run over and scored easily 30-something points. Say what
the
you
only
want.
touchdown the Broncos had. Yeah, the only touchdown the Broncos had was on defense, on a pick six, on a pass from Trey Lance to KLS. What are your thoughts on the Chargers offense, the guys that don't get to play often, like Andre James and Trey Lance, Marlo Wax? Do you have any thoughts about, the players that don't really have an opportunity usually?
Okay, Trey Lance, we'll just start there because most people watch the game and they follow the ball. Trey Lance is exactly what we thought he was. Nothing against Trey Lance. He's has earned a really nice living already in this league, meaning he's made a lot of money. If he manages money the right way, Trey Lance really doesn't have to get another job the rest of his life. He's going to be fine. Okay. At the same time, every quarterback says, I want an opportunity to play. Okay. Dude, you are not a guy that's an everyday quarterback. You just aren't. And you could see the difference. If anything, as I said last week after you and I saw Justin Herbert in person, dude, I appreciate Justin Herbert even more after watching him in person about what happened with him against the Texans. And you see not only his vision and his ability to break down a defense, but to really protect himself and then to make accurate throws and have the cannon that he has and have the internal clock. One thing Trey Lance didn't have. Now, not having the clock, look, a lot of that has to do with repetition. But dude, Trey Lance is in his third organization, right? 49ers, Cowboys, Chargers. And at no time does Trey Lance look like a guy, if I'm another team, hey, I wonder what it would take to trade for him. Because if the Chargers could get something for him, that'd be pretty amazing. I just don't see it. There are teams out there like the Niners that have Jones as a backup quarterback, and you go, hey, maybe you could get something in return if you traded your backup. Trey Lance is just a guy, and there's nothing he did today that was impressive to me. Matter of fact, even though he had rushing yards and when he ran, he was effective, I thought he should have run for more. He ran for 69 yards today, Josh, and I thought there were opportunities where he should have run for more that would have helped the team out even more. So I'm going to start with Trey Lance before we get to anybody else. What was your opinion on Trey Lance?
So he finishes 20 for 44, 136 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick six. He was sacked 4 times, which is actually a lot less than I thought he was going to be sacked. It seemed like Trey Lance didn't have the best quarterback clock in his head. He didn't really know when to run until the second half. In the first half, he had opportunities to get first downs with his legs, and I thought he held up and didn't take those opportunities. I'm with you, though. I don't think Trey Lance did anything today to prove that he's going to be a starter in the future, or I don't know how long he could be a number 2 quarterback. If I had the opportunity Trey Lance had today, I think I would try to throw the most catchable passes I could in terms of not throwing players like overthrow players or throwing balls out of bounds. It seemed like almost every other throw was an overthrow or he threw it out of bounds. Like the last play of the game there, buddy, you're going to lose the game. Like just throw it to somebody. If it goes to a Broncos player, it goes to a Broncos player, but you have to give somebody a chance to make a play. And time again, it seemed like he wasn't giving his receivers and tight ends a chance to make a play. It's kind of frustrating as a fan. I didn't have super high expectations from Trey Lance, but I think I expected a little bit more in terms of accuracy.
I'm with you. Look, Phillip Rivers, who obviously didn't play today in the Colts last game, and if you watch Rivers, with the Colts this season when he came out of retirement, you watched Rivers' his entire career with the Chargers. Phillip always took what the defense gave you, and Tom Brady did a lot of that too. Tom Brady had a really good arm, okay, and he doesn't get the credit for having the arm that he had, but Brady had a good arm. Rivers never had that explosive arm, but Rivers would throw to the guys that were open, or he would throw guys open. And if that meant throwing underneath and being safe and moving the ball downfield and putting long drives together, that's kind of what it takes. And that's kind of what I expect Trey Lance to do. Like you have to think in your mind, if I get an opportunity again, how am I going to showcase myself? I thought he went about it the wrong way, especially in this offense. This Greg Roman offense isn't designed for you to take, gambles or just try and stretch the defense. You're throwing underneath until they forget that, hey, they might actually stretch you. And hey, for Trey Lance, it didn't go the way he wanted it to go. For the Chargers losing, it wasn't 100% on him. I didn't say it wasn't a tremendous showing. It was what you'd expect from maybe a rookie quarterback playing in his first or second game, not a guy that's been in the league for a while with 3 different organizations.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. He kind of looked like a rookie quarterback today. I know he hasn't had a ton of experience, but he has a little bit more than what he showed today in terms of the clock in his head, like I just mentioned, and the accuracy on passes that should be completed. It wasn't all negative, though. I think there's some definitely positive spots from other players. Andre James is a player that we've mentioned a lot on this show. He was signed in the offseason to possibly play guard or center. He's been Bradley Bozeman's backup the entire season. He finally got his first snaps today. I thought he looked very good. I have some live pass blocking grades. This was at halftime of the Chargers game, and I'm pulled up right here. These are the live pass blocking grades from the Chargers offensive line. More of the same from Austin Deculus. It's absolutely terrible. 21.3. Branson Taylor, a guy that was cut that we drafted, he was out there today. 32.3. I don't think you expect a lot out of him. Andre James, the guy that we were watching, 76.8. I don't understand how he hasn't got one snap this season. He was obviously better than what Bradley Bozeman has done the entire season. What are your thoughts on Andre James possibly playing in the playoffs?
Okay, here's the deal. And we had someone that was calling me out for it, saying, watch Andre James, watch Andre James. And I'm like, well, dude, if he could play, he'd be playing. Well, he stepped up today against a really good defense in a game where Denver did not hide the fact they were giving you their best effort. He played extremely well. So I'll sit there and always admit when I'm wrong. Andre James was outstanding against again a team that maybe you compare him to maybe the Texans down the line as far as the defense that you have to be concerned about in the postseason. I don't understand why he's not starting all the time then. If that's the case, then why aren't we seeing him all the time? Because we know what we get out of Bozeman. Bozeman's a guy that's been a huge disappointment. Matter of fact, my guess is, Josh, we're seeing the very end of Bozeman's career this season. I can't imagine another team that's going to give Bozeman a chance after the numbers he's put up. So if James can play like this, why isn't James the starter the rest of the way?
I can't think of any good reason why he wouldn't be the starter the rest of the way. Maybe Bradley Bozeman has blackmail on Jim Harbaugh because it doesn't really make any sense. So a guy that's been graded as the worst center in the NFL really since week 1 till the end of the season doesn't even let his backup center get an opportunity, a fully healthy backup center. It's not like Andre James has been dealing with nagging injuries. He just hasn't had an opportunity to show what he can do. And that's a very small sample size. That's only 8 pass blocking attempts. But to have a 77.6 grade for somebody that's been a backup, I think it's pretty amazing, especially from a Broncos team that is very elite on defense. They're absolutely trying to win today's game. And he did very well. Another player out there that was really impressive to me was Marlo Wax. He's linebacker number 58. He hasn't had an opportunity to play. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Henley, a guy that you always wonder, what can this guy do if he gets an opportunity? And I thought he was very good today. He had 7 tackles, 6 of them were solo tackles. He had a tackle for loss. And the thing that really stuck out to me, Dave, was he's extremely fast. If you could have fast linebackers that can tackle like he can, I think he's an asset for this team moving forward, not just in the playoffs, hopefully, but down the line into next season.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you just said right there. I mean, it stood out. It drew your eyes to it. It's one of the things that makes this defense work, right? It's not a defense that's going to be known for getting to a ton of quarterbacks. It's a defense that once it keeps everything in front. At the same time, they're able to sack Nick's 4 times today, which is a number I didn't expect, especially with what they put out there. The way the game started, and we see Tony Jefferson, all over the place, and I'm going, man, if Tony Jefferson's this involved, this is not a good sign. And then it seemed like we were able to kind of put it together. So the Broncos scored 10 in the first quarter, and then the Chargers shut them out in the second. They gave up 3 in the third and 6 more points in the fourth. Overall, you would think that's not a bad effort. You would think that, hey, if I didn't see the game and I didn't know that they were going to bench the starters for the most part, I would have guessed that was the best effort the Chargers had. Not the case. So I just know there's more in the tank. If they could hold Denver in that situation to 19 points, and as you said, 1 touchdown, I really do like what the Chargers have ahead of them if they ever see the Broncos again the rest of the way. And the only time they would see the Broncos would be in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, and the 1 touchdown was on defense. The Broncos offense did not score a touchdown in this game. If Justin Herbert played in this game and we had all of our starters, are you pretty confident that the Chargers would have won today's game?
Yeah, I am. And again, I know it's easy to say that being a Charger show, but I am. As you said, look, how did they score their touchdown? How did things work out this way? Justin Herbert, and if everyone else is with all the offensive weapons going, you have Hampton going, you have different wide receivers going, more options. Yeah, I'm positive. I mean, really, Denver's the team I want to see again. There's a part of me that wanted the Chargers to go 6-0 inside the division this year, and I know there's not a special trophy for it. There's no parade for that, but there was something as far as, you always look for things to build on. You could say this Charger team, when you look at it, is not exactly, a young team. This is to me, when you have a veteran quarterback, it's a veteran team. And yeah, Hampton's young and Gadsden's young. I got it. Trey Harris is young. Lad's in his second year. But man, I look at this team and I'm going, the time is now. It's not like when, I would say, even if the Broncos, their season comes to an end, you have a second-year quarterback. The Patriots, when their season comes to an end, you have a second-year quarterback. We have a veteran quarterback. Why can't the season be now?
It could be now, especially when the AFC is as wide open as it is. Part of me wants to play the Broncos again in the next game. I wish, like, if we won this game, I wouldn't have minded playing the Broncos in the next game because I think this is a very beatable team. If you look at the Broncos and the Chargers team stat wise, it's very even. And we played lots of backups today. Both teams had 13 first downs. We actually had more passing downs than they did, 7 to 6. We had 217 total yards. They had 240. They're both these numbers are ass. Okay, let me just put it out there. Both these numbers are ass, but they're equally ass. Total drives, both 12. Rushing yards. We had Jarrett Patterson out there, our fourth string running back, 113 rushing yards for the Chargers. Broncos had 116. I understand Trey Lance had a lot of those rushing yards, but as a Charger fan, I feel a lot better about this game than the Broncos. Trey Harris is a guy that looked very good at the end of today's game. Moving forward, I think Trey Harris should be the number 2 receiver, number 3 receiver. He's very dependable, has very good hands, extremely physical. I liked what I saw to Trey Harris, and I thought there's some really good bright spots on the Chargers offense, like Andre James, like we just mentioned, Trey Harris, and I thought Rondé Gadsden looked very good as well.
All right. So look, let's get into the playoff picture. Okay. Let's go and how it works right now. So as I'm looking through, as I'm talking to you, and I'm looking at my graph, and I see people on the side who are freaking out, yelling at me right now. You guys are 100% right. The way this thing breaks down is, all right. And I was listening, I'm sorry, to Tony Romo, and I was watching Red Zone at the same time, trying to take my notes. Yeah, we knock out the Patriots. We do. We have the Broncos in the second game. We do not have the Jags in the second game. We just have to take care of business. Now, if the Patriots win, then the Broncos would obviously not face the Patriots in game 2. So you guys have right to freak out. As I said, we're doing the show on the fly, last minute notes, as we're sitting there trying to keep track of everything that's going on in the NFC, AFC. So yes, we have a chance of seeing the Broncos in a couple of weeks. I would absolutely love that. The Jags are the one team, Josh, and I know there are people that say, what are you afraid of the Jags for? Especially AK says that to me all the time. What are you afraid of the Jags? I'm sorry, if you're watching the Jags and you sit there and you give credit to where credit's deserved, the Jags look really good right now. If you're a Jaguars fan, you have to be thinking we're going in the postseason and we're playing our best football right now. They're playing outstanding football. The Texans are on a winning streak right now as well. But look, the Texans don't look like the Jags look. The Jags have been playing great football for a long time. We'll worry about the Jags when we get there. Again, it's one of those where we have to get by Jacksonville just like we have to get by everybody else that's in our way. But I like the road. I like the road against New England. I really hope that game is Sunday, not Saturday, Josh, for a variety of reasons. But I don't want to spend one of the days getting ready for this game traveling. I just think it's BS to sit there and go, the Chargers are going to fly back from Denver to LA, find out when they're facing the Patriots. And if you guys get the schedule while we're doing the show, let me know as soon as it happens. I want to know exactly when we're facing the Patriots, because I think what's more fair to the Chargers, meaning that you have to go on a 5 hour plus flight all the way to play the Patriots, that the Chargers get Sunday. And the Saturday thing is like the most New England Patriot thing of all time. I mean, it would not shock me at all that the Chargers are playing on Saturday instead of Sunday. And it's just the way it goes, man. We've seen it forever. It feels like when Tom Brady and Belichick had it, and then they get an extra day to prepare for their next opponent to move forward. But honestly, we should get the Sunday game, not the Saturday game.
It's probably going to be on Saturday. Chargers usually play in the playoffs on Saturday. They have the Jaguars on Saturday. They have the Texans on Saturday. In the playoffs, and 2 weeks ago, we have the Texans, or excuse me, last week we have the Texans on a Saturday. Chargers haven't played well on Saturdays recently. With that being said, I do want the Patriots. I think the Chargers match up very well with the Patriots. In the Patriots game today, they beat the Dolphins 38-10. Drake May, who might be the MVP of the season, had 1 touchdown, 14 for 18 passing. They had 4 rushing touchdowns. That is something the Chargers are going to be concerned about. They have 2 running backs that are very capable with Stevenson and Henderson. But I agree about the Jaguars as well. I think they're the most balanced team in the AFC right now, and they're the hottest team in the AFC. If the Chargers have to play the Jaguars, I'm not going to be waving the white flag. I just think the better matchup right now would be the Broncos or the Patriots. It's just the way it stacks up for our team.
Yeah, so here we go. Playoff time, meaning we get the Patriots. Let's talk about the matchup real quick, and we'll get into it when Mario joins us during the week as well. We're going to talk a ton of Patriots-Chargers as far as the matchup, but just starting off, for me, Josh, this is who I wanted to face. If we weren't going to face the Steelers, which I thought we had a chance of doing a couple weeks ago, the Patriots were my next team to face. Now, if the Patriots win, they win. I like Harbaugh. I like that the fact he has experience as a head coach during the playoffs. Vrabel, again, he had the #1 seed a few years ago with the Titans. They lost to the Bengals at home in a game that you go, how did that happen when the Titans had a fantastic year, when they used to have weapons? But Joe Burrow and the guys came to town. If you remember, the game ended, Evan McPherson game-winning field goal. The reason I say that is every Bengals game in the playoffs that year ended with the Evan McPherson game-winning field goal. And then here you go, the Chargers taking on the Pats. I like this matchup the best as far as who we're going to face. If it was up to me, we'd face the Broncos next week. But as far as the Patriots go, I like the fact we're facing the Patriots.
Are you more concerned about Drake May, Mike Vrabel because he wins? They're, the dominance they've shown in certain games. What part about the Patriots concerns you the most? Their running game with the two running backs. What part scares you the most about the Patriots?
I'll be honest with you. It's the history, it's the lore of playing in New England, right? I mean, it was funny that we're sitting there watching the game together. Josh and I watching the Chargers Broncos on one TV. On another TV, we had Red Zone, and we're sitting there watching them cut into the Patriots game nonstop. And I know here in Southern California, it gets dark around 4:40, 4:45. Well, it wasn't even close to 4:40 or 4:45 New England time, and it was pitch black. I'm like, is it always dark in New England? Like, what the hell? How's it always dark and ready to go? And they got that weird stadium. And I know you've been inside that stadium, meaning they have that big opening on the side where, guess what? Cameron Dicker makes me a little bit nervous all of a sudden. You're going, the guy that was automatic, is the wind going to become a factor? If anyone watched the games today, how many times did you see guys in this kind of weather where it's cold kick the ball and go, oh, that guy just shanked it. He just missed it. And then the wind blows it right back in or blows it out. And going, wind is a factor for these kickers. So in a close game, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about anything that could possibly go wrong because history will tell us we are not the luckiest team. Matter of fact, we're one of the most unlucky teams in the history of the NFL. If anything can possibly go wrong, it goes wrong for the Chargers. We've seen this over and over again, and I don't want something next week when we're doing a post-game show to go, man, if this would have happened. Okay, I also don't want to see a situation like we saw with the Texans last year where we come on and go, man, we just got our tits lit. I don't want to see that either, right? You don't want to sit there and go, hey, that wasn't the team that we followed all season long. We want to sit there and go through it where we play our best football. If they play their best football, we play our best football. I think our best football is better. And I'm not saying that they're going to do something crazy, that Jesse Minter's going to do something to shake up Drake May. I think the guy's unshakable at this point. I think he's even though in his second year, he might as well be in his 10th year. Drake May is really good, and he makes good decisions, and he's calm, and he can run with the ball and do things. Talent for talent in the most important positions on the field. I like the Charger guys. And again, I'll take our head coach over Vrabel just because of postseason experience in winning. Harbaugh's won in the postseason. And until Vrabel wins in the postseason, that's what I think needs to take him to another level as a head coach.
I agree with you on that. Also, Drake May is the only quarterback in the AFC playoffs that has never played in a playoff game. As good as he's been in the regular season, the playoffs is a whole nother animal. He's the only quarterback that has never played in a playoff game. I think that is something that could be an advantage to the Chargers as well. He's also Marion Hampton's teammate at North Carolina, which is kind of funny. But I'm excited, man. I think this is a team that the Patriots are definitely going to have to be concerned about. You watch the Chargers defense. I don't care who you're going against. The Chargers defense is elite. I mean, they could shut down Drake May to maybe 17 or less points. That's how good I think the defense is. They're going to have their hands full of Drake May and the running backs and everything the Patriots do over there. But the Patriots also have the weakest schedule in the NFL. They have not played teams that have the Chargers defense. Look at their division, for God's sakes. You got the Bills with a terrible defense. You got the Jets that are horrible, the Dolphins that are terrible. This is going to be a huge matchup for the Patriots. And the Chargers defense needs to step up. Guys like Dante Jackson need to step up. Are you concerned about Dante Jackson's injury? I am. He goes down with an ankle injury early in today's game. He's been our best cornerback this season. We're going to need him next week.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one thing today that bothered me. Is when he got hurt, I was like, man, we've been complimenting this guy all season long. That was the one that worried me. Yes. At the same time, we'll find out the severity of the injury. How bad is it, right? Because otherwise, whatever it takes to get on the field. I'm not saying, shoot it up. But I'm telling you, shoot it up. Like, if you can get on the field, if it's not broken, I want you on the field. I want to see what happens. We got to get you on the field. As Charger fans, we waited a long time for this. I think there's certain players out there, and I think the Chargers have a bunch of them, where winning matters. Okay, and I know that sounds crazy to say in sports. There's some guys that winning doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's about the paycheck. I think the Chargers have guys that are all in. Again, it's part of the culture that Jim Harbaugh has created. It's all in. You have to look at the guy to your left and the guy to your right, look him in the eye and say, did you give it everything you had? And so, yeah, if there's an injury where bone's not broken or ligament's not torn, let's get your ass on the field. Let's go. Easy for me to say. I'm wearing flip-flops and a hoodie.
We got some comments here on the side. We're going to start with AK499 says, my defense is ready for the playoffs. I love our chances. Roman, get your shit together, my bro. And the Broncos are not a threat to us. Pats will be tough. Is that a threat?
I I agree with everything you said. I think the defense is ready. I think I think basically, it's funny, they read that stat during the game about how the Chargers have had more time on offense than any other team in the NFL, and I'm like, well, no kidding. It's Greg Roman. I mean, of course we're going to control the ball as much as everyone else. Doesn't mean it equal wins every single time. And look, hats off. The team goes 11-6. Fantastic. But that stat's kind of an overrated stat. Efficiency is what matters, right? Efficiency is the key. It's not a matter of how long you're holding the ball if you're doing nothing with it, right? It's like the guy on a basketball court just dribbling the ball, dribbling the clock out. Efficiency. Can we get in the end zone? Can we put points on the board? Can we stop putting up threes and putting up sevens? That's what's important. Can we get in the end zone and win games? I like Patriot fans will think I'm crazy, but what Josh said should not be overlooked. Look at who the Patriots played. Okay. It's like James Madison. You're playing that weak ass schedule the entire year. You get in the postseason, like, man, this is a whole nother level of football. And that's what I think the Patriots will see. If you watch that Patriots game today, you're sitting there going, wait a second, are they struggling with Quinn Ewers on the other side? You guys have no chance with Justin Herbert. Yeah, the score didn't look like that at the end, but I'm like, dude, they struggled for a little bit. But the Dolphins aren't supposed to play well in cold weather ever. So go ahead. I'll take my chances with this Charger team. I like the matchup against the Patriots.
Next one comes from Stan Fam 499 says, how do you guys feel about Roman considering that Justin hasn't had a long-term offensive coordinator? Love the show. Keep it up. Thank you. That's a great question. I mean, Justin Herbert hasn't had an offense coordinator for that long. Not because they've been so good, they get other jobs. I mean, some of them have moved on to other places, but some of them have been so bad. You wonder how Justin Herbert has been successful with these guys as his offense coordinator. I have no concerns about Greg Roman getting better. I mean, I have major concerns about Greg Roman getting better. He is what he is. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'd be happy to see him go, but I think all signs are pointing to Greg Roman returning in 2026.
He's coming back. All right. I know we're all going to say this for a long time, and he's coming back. It's almost a waste of breath. Jim Harbaugh's not throwing him away. He's coming back. You're hearing different stories already. There's one guy that we like if we had our choice of bringing an OC for next year. We all like Brian Dable on the show. Stefanski's going to get another head coaching job, it looks like, when Cleveland blows him out, probably as early as tomorrow. But if he gets a head coaching job, because he's supposed to be an offensive genius, we all like Brian Dable. And then you're hearing stories today that Brian Dable is going to be the next OC with the Raiders. That would suck, right? I mean, if we're all fans of the guy, and then all of a sudden here he is, and he gets the Heisman Trophy winner as his quarterback, and he puts it all together, you sit there and go, man, all of a sudden, are the Raiders contenders in this division in a few years? All that stuff scares you. I don't want to say Brian Dable's Ben Johnson, but we've had this conversation also when you look at what happened in Detroit this year where they didn't make the postseason. I think everybody knew Ben Johnson was more important to the team than the head coach. And if they could have done it without making everybody in Detroit freak out, they would have changed head coaches and kept Ben Johnson, gave him the job. But it doesn't work that way. And they're going to look at it in a few years when Ben Johnson's coaching the Bears and the Lions are hiring a new coach. And like, we had our guy. We just couldn't make the move because it would have looked weird. We all know that Greg Roman shouldn't be the OC next year. Jim Harbaugh is just going to be loyal to him, and he's going to keep him.
When you look at the other side of the ball, do you think Jesse Minter returns for next season, or do you think he gets a job with another team?
Okay, I think Jesse Minter's back next year. I do. I think
too.
We're going to be lucky enough to hold him for one more year. I think we're going to get him back. I don't think he gets a head coaching job in the NFL, not next year. And the Michigan job's already taken care of. They didn't bring him in to be the new head coach of Michigan. I think Jesse Minter's back also in 2026.
I agree. Cameron Teague, 999, says, we got the best possible path for us. New England and Denver. We will have to face Josh Allen or the boogeyman or our boogeyman, the AFC South, until the conference championship game. It is so funny to me how many people on Twitter are messaging us constantly that are either Jaguar fans, Colts fans, Texans fans, saying you guys don't want to face us. I'm like, let's calm down for a second. You guys are still the AFC South. You've been everybody's little brother until this season. Let's relax and see what they can do in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Everyone's dead. I don't think the Chargers are running from anybody. Again, we have our guy. We have two guys that we really like. We have the coach quarterback combination. Yeah, look, for anyone in the AFC South to sit there and run your mouth like you've been here before, you haven't done anything. It's been the most embarrassing division in the sport for years. The fact that Jacksonville and the Texans have finally put something together, don't act like you've been there before. You haven't. You come knocking on the door. You didn't even knock on the door. It's wide open. Come on in. You know. By the way, someone wrote on the side here, Josh, real quick about Dable. So I saw what Dable did in New York. Not worried. Look, Dable, look what he did when he had Josh Allen with Buffalo. He was pretty dangerous. Look at Dable when he was at Alabama, won a national championship. When you have talent, it's amazing how good coaches look.
Yeah, the AFC South is ridiculous to me. It's like somebody that never got attention and then they get a nose job and then they start talking crap to everybody. Yeah. It's like, dude, we know what you used to be. Okay. Exactly. Just because you got a nose job doesn't mean you're the best thing ever. All right. This one is interesting because everybody's going to be looking at Bradley Bozeman more than usual in the next game. It's from Zay Franz 199. Says, how do we feel about Andre James? Obviously, we like what he did today. This just puts more pressure on Bradley Bozeman to perform. We're already looking at the center way more than we should. No teams looks at their center more than the Chargers. I understand some people on the side here saying, how could you switch it up going into the playoffs? If you have the worst center in the NFL, why would you not consider switching it up if you have a guy that can perform better? I don't understand why you wouldn't consider that option.
It has to be. You can't sit there and explain it to the other guys on the team, right? I mean, look, if everybody on the team knows it and the fan base knows it, you make the change. It's whatever's best for the team. Every decision always has to be what's best for the team. My question is, why wasn't a change made sooner? What's he showing in practice? Jim doesn't seem like the kind of guy that sits there and when I say he's not loyal, I mean, he's loyal to Greg Roman, but he's not. Look at how many Michigan guys he didn't draft, right? There are guys he was in their home talking to their moms, and yet they passed on the draft board and was like, no, that's okay. Blake Corum, you can go to the Rams. I mean, dude, there are guys he passed on that he had at Michigan that he recruited to be on his team. Yet they weren't good enough to be on his team now, or he didn't see a fit. So if whatever's best for the team, and that seems like the Jim Harbaugh moves and should be the move of every head coach. If Andre James is better in practice and now proved that he has a good game under his belt, you go ahead and you make the switch. Bozeman has nobody to blame but himself.
Absolutely not. And I call BS on the Jim Harbaugh competitors welcome if you're not going to give this guy an opportunity. It's not like Andre James is a guy that has never played. He's been an NFL full-time starter for 3 seasons, including last season, not getting an opportunity because you maybe not look great in practice. Dude, we see what Bradley Bozeman looks like in the games. It's not great. So not giving him a chance until week 18, I don't understand it, man. It's very confusing. John Solis, $2, says, this could be Minter's last season with us. It could be. But if you're Jesse Minter, why would you take a job like the Titans or the Raiders or whatever may pop up? Or you could stick with the Chargers and maybe build your resume even more and take a better job that becomes available.
Yeah, again, from everything, I read all these rumors just like everybody else. I don't think he's going to be offered that job, Josh. I just don't think that's where he's going to be. We're all very impressed with what he does. Obviously, when you learn from a coach that knows how to establish a culture like Harbaugh, and he's been around Harbaugh for a long time, it can go a long way. If you listen to, Cignetti at Indiana, he says that 1 year that he had with Saban, he learned more than he learned in 27 years as a coach. I'm sure Minter has not only learned a lot, he's also taken a lot from what he has in his mind of personal experiences, what he thinks works best. I'm sure he'll be a tremendous head coach one day. I just don't think he gets the opportunity this year. Just my guess. I just don't think it's this year.
Next one comes from Kelvin Gaddis, $10, says, what are the chances that Roman has a slew of plays he's been saving for the playoffs to throw things out that the defense will not expect, or we will see some stale play calling that we've seen all year? Which one of those scenarios is more likely for you?
Oh, it's going to be stale as hell. It's there's no craziness in Greg Roman. All right. Greg Roman doesn't walk into the house and tell his wife, guess what we're doing in the next 5 minutes? Because I hope your bag's packed. We're going to Hawaii. Dude, he's not that guy. You're talking about the least spontaneous person on the planet is Greg Roman. He's never thrown a surprise party for anybody. He's never been spontaneous with his wife. He's never done anything to go, man, I did not expect that. Everything he does is calculated, and he lets you know it. I think Greg Roman's offense is all about basically eliminating turnovers, controlling the ball, and that's just the way it goes. And I'm guessing when Greg Roman drives to work, he's driving in that far right lane, and he leaves for work 25 minutes early. That's how it goes. There's nothing about this guy that's going to go, man, that was crazy. No one's ever said that about Greg Roman.
Spontaneous Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, never. Yeah, if that happens, Kelvin, and he has all these magical trick plays that he's saving for the playoffs, I'll admit that we're totally wrong on this show. I would just be super shocked if he was holding back till now. I mean, good God, dude, the fans want to kill you. You know, the players are frustrated during these games. For him to be holding back to the playoffs, it's extremely unlikely, but hopefully something like that happens. I don't know.
Yeah. When Greg Roman goes to Cold Stone, does he just get a like it, vanilla only, no toppings?
He's definitely vanilla, 100%.
Yeah.
God dang it. Mike G, $2 says, you guys hear teams are interested in Rivers coaching.
I haven't heard of that at all. I think Rivers would probably be an outstanding coach. I haven't heard that at all. I think Rivers is most concerned about being a dad. And until his kids are done playing football, I don't see Philip Rivers leaving his family. I mean, one thing he talked about retirement. Look, if you become an assistant coach or a head coach in the NFL, man, you're stepping away. I mean, you're stepping away from all those kids. That does not seem like what Philip Rivers retired for.
Yeah, his son's going to be a senior next year, one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. I believe he has another kid that's in 8th grade that's coming up who's a quarterback as well. I would be super shocked if he stepped away to be a coach in the NFL while his kids are on his high school football team. I think he will be a coach eventually. It'll just be after his kids are done playing.
Yeah.
2 below, $5 says Roman's secret playbook is so old, it's written in hieroglyphics. Deuces in 2026, please. Zing. Dude. Is there anybody that's got more hate on this show? Who has gotten more hate on the show? Greg Roman or Bradley Bozeman?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's about even. I think it's about even is my guess. Man, I don't even know. That's a great question right there. You know, but let me ask you, how many things do you see in the NFL where it seems like it catches the defense, you know, by surprise? Right? Doesn't seem like the NFL defenders are up for almost anything. I'm not saying Greg Roman's offense is the best way to go about it at all. But I mean, how many times do you see something go, you know, that was really a great player they weren't ready for? You don't see guys out of position. Like flea flicker plays don't seem to work. You look at misdirection plays where what was the game you and I were watching today where they handed the ball off to the running back or wide receiver, and then he had to throw the ball? Dude, there was somebody right there with the quarterback. It was the Lions game, Lions-Bears game. Goff was 100% covered, you know, and you just go, it's tough, man. These pros have seen it all, and these defensive coordinators have seen it all.
I think I judge an offensive coordinator by how much space they can get for the receivers, like continuously, consistently. The Jaguars do a phenomenal job. Liam Cohen is right there with Sean McVay at this point of drawing up plays to make his players extremely open. The 49ers are great. Ben Johnson's awesome. They're just in a different league than Greg Roman, right? When you watch the 49ers or the Bears or the Jaguars, you're like, wow, that's a great play. Not that it's a trick play. It's just a play that creates tons of space. How often during a Charger game do you watch Greg Roman and say, wow, that was phenomenal? Maybe 2-3 times a game at the most. It just doesn't happen.
Dude, I don't think I get 2 or 3 times ever. I mean, that's a lot. I don't. When I watch the guys you just mentioned, when I watch McVay, Shanahan, Ben Johnson, I'm impressed with those guys. Andy Reid shows me something once a game. I'm like, I've never seen that. You know, that's pretty cool. But no, Greg Roman is about as boring as it gets.
All right, that's all the questions and comments we have. Do you have? Oh, excuse me, we got one more that just came in right now. From Kelvin Gaddis, $5 says Bozeman and Roman united to give us someone we could hate almost as much as Bosa. Dude, they did it. I think they might have done it. To answer the question, though, I think Bozeman has gotten more hate than any player besides Joey Bosa since we've started this show. I can't think of another player. Kenneth Murray is up there, right? A guy that's just continuously getting crapped on the show by us a lot of the time. But Bozeman is in the top 3, top 2 all time on the show of fans just absolutely hating him.
Okay, here's my difference, though, as a fan is Bozeman is a guy that honestly I think gives us his best effort every single game. I just don't think he's that good. You know, there's a difference of guys who give you best effort and just can't get it done. Then it goes to the GM. He's there because the GM didn't do his job in finding a guy that's better. But I've never looked at Bozeman and going, he's half-assing it, or, you know, he's taking plays off. Dude, Bosa took himself out of so many games and so many plays and, you know, 3rd and longs, you know, big stops. We're like, dude, we got to stop him on 3rd down. And Bosa puts his hand up, get me out of the game. And you go, come on, man. It was frustrating watching Bosa. everything about Bosa is frustrating. I mean, the Bills are a team that really nobody hates, I guess, unless you live back east. Like everyone just feels bad for the Bills. Um, sorry, they're that redheaded kid that gets bullied. That's who the Bills have always been. And I don't even know what the hell's going on in Buffalo. It seems like the worst place to possibly live. Today was the last game inside that stadium. It looked like the lights were going out. Like, why was it so damn dark? If you could see shadows everywhere on a field, yeah, if you see shadows of the players, like, did they turn off half the lights? What the hell was going on in that stadium today? But the fact Bosa's in Buffalo, I can't stand Bosa. I want the season to end. I'm going to root against the Bills just to see Bosa fall short again. And it's one of the reasons I think I root against the Niners also. I can't stand Nick. It's insane to me.
I think you made a great point about Bozeman trying his best. Like, you can't get too mad at a guy that tries his best if he's just not great. Joey Bosa was lazy at points, right? Like, he's more Mekhi Becton than Bradley Bozeman. Like Mekhi Becton, you watch him play, you're like, dude, is this guy trying? Is he getting hurt every game? Storm Norton is a guy that people hate. I like this topic right here. J.C. Jackson is another guy that people hate. And Jerry Tillery is definitely in the top 3. Jerry Tillery is just not a great human being, it seems like, as well. We have another one here.
The breaking point for Bosa with me was the Jacksonville playoff game. Yep.
Yeah.
When he chucked his helmet at the feet of Staley and then he picks it up like a bitch. I mean, it was just so many things that were ridiculous to me about Bosa and his behavior. I never felt the Bosa was all in. I think Bosa's all in now because in his mind is he has to try and prove people wrong. It was the Chargers' fault. It wasn't his fault. Okay, go ahead. That's fine.
That's insane. Zach Pearson, $10, said, would you eat dog shit if it meant Greg Roman wasn't coming back next year? Thank you guys for all the content. Herbert's coming out mean next week. Bolt up. Would you eat dog shit so Greg Roman wouldn't come back next year, Dave?
100% not. You bring him back. I'm not eating dog shit. I mean, what the hell? No, I'm not. I'm sorry if there are a bunch of Charger fans right there like, come on, you got to do it for the franchise. No, I don't. I'm not eating dog shit. You eating dog shit?
No. I'm trying to think what's the worst thing that I would do so Greg Roman wouldn't come back. I don't think I'd get kicked in the nuts. That'd be pretty terrible. I'm trying to have kids soon. Not worth it. I would probably let you punch me in the chest 80% as hard as you could so Greg Roman wouldn't come back. Or in the arm. Chest could be dangerous. In the arm, I'll let you punch me. But that's it.
Chest is dangerous.
Yeah.
All right, I'll throw a question right back at you. All right, and just it's a weird topic, but I was in a disgusting porta potty at the Rose Bowl. But would you rather step in dog shit or human shit?
I'd rather step in dog shit than human shit.
Me too.
Did you step in human shit?
If I stepped in human shit, dude, I'd freak out. I don't know why. I think dog shit just like it sucks, and you go, if I clean the hell out of these shoes and run Lysol wipes all over them like crazy to clean them and do whatever I need to do to clean them. Maybe they're you keep them, but as you step in human shit, they're you got to throw them away immediately. Put them in a bag, wrap them up, throw them in the trash. That's gross.
It's game over. That's gross. Do you have any thoughts about the league? You watching the games today? What are your thoughts?
Dude, I hated the games today for the most part. I hated the fact that basically the NFL week 18 or the last game, the 17th game, turned into what the NBA is, not the WNBA, what the NBA is, and where the guys take time off. And when you see the point spreads that were ridiculous, it was a waste. I watched all of them. I mean, that's how dumb I am that I knew it was going to be bad. I watched every single game today. I even watched the Titans Jags. I watched Cam Ward had them up 7-0, and then he got hurt. And then all of a sudden, you're sitting there looking at Jacksonville put up 40-something points, and you're going, "Wow, they look great." Houston. One of my things is I don't know anything about these the whole uniform deal. I will say this, and this is going to be my rant. If you have an iconic franchise, and even the Chargers have the coolest uniforms going, meaning I wouldn't change things up. The Chargers dark jerseys to me look good. Everything jersey the Chargers have looks good. I love the powder blues. But when you have an iconic franchise like the 49ers and you're going to wear these crazy uniforms against Seattle in your biggest game of the year, why? The New York Yankees don't just show up and go, guess what, guys, no pinstripes tonight at home. It doesn't work that way. You're an iconic franchise. You're known for what you are. What's the deal? I don't like when the Steelers do it. I don't like when the Packers do it. I just think it looks absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand why you'd go, this is the time to do it. I understand it's all about making money and jersey sales. Look, man, I saw the Texans in person last week. Not impressed with the fans that traveled with them either. You guys aren't scary. Texas loves to brag about their state, and anything in the state of Texas is better than any other state. You know, things are bigger in Texas, all that. So is the bullshit. Okay. I got news for you. But when I'm looking at the uniforms you guys are wearing today, you guys look like you're ready to go roller skating. I don't understand what the hell. The people in Miami thought your uniforms today were ridiculous. You guys don't look tough. You don't look tough. I'm not impressed with the Texans. Nothing about you. Okay. Nothing. That's where I'm at. But if you're an iconic franchise, keep the uniforms you have, embrace what you are, especially if you have 5 Super Bowl trophies. Good God. I don't understand the whole shakeup here. I'll say this, though. As soon as the Chargers came out in yellow pants today, I was like, this is going to be worse than I thought. Every time those damn yellow pants, we're about to take an ass beating. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's how I feel.
Solid rant. I like it. I have nothing on my end. Today's game, like just to summarize everything, wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I remember me and you looked at each other after the pick 6 and we're like, this is about to be an ass kicking. It totally was not an ass kicking. Yep. I thought the 19-3 doesn't show how close the game was. The Chargers offense had chances time and time again to tie it up or make it closer. They just couldn't do it. Defense was awesome. So I thought the Chargers played better than they're supposed to, and the Broncos played worse.
I agree. Again, if I'm a Bronco fan, I don't feel confident after what happened. I'm like, man, if the Chargers at their best, man, I don't know what's going to happen if I'm a Bronco fan sitting in traffic trying to get out of that stadium right now. I'm not confident. At the same time, the way it breaks down, again, Chargers will face the Patriots next week in game 1 of the playoffs. Then hopefully we have a chance to face the Broncos the following week. Okay. That's it. But I think the Chargers, nothing changes in my mind, Josh. The Chargers have as good a chance as any team in the AFC playoffs to reach the Super Bowl. And I'm all for it. I'm excited about the postseason. That being said, if we fall short and do not win a playoff game, I'll be extremely, extremely surprised and upset. Like I'd say major changes need to happen if that's the case. I expect this team to prepare, get ready for New England, and come back in a week from right now. We're talking and we're going, okay, let's go to the next game. Let's get ready for the Broncos.
100%. If Greg Roman loses this first game, I think he needs to be gone. If he wins, I think he's coming back. I think that's as clear cut as it is for Greg Roman.
That's probably the best way to look at it. And it's not worth the trade-off for me to have them to lose just to get rid of Greg Roman or me dog shit. You know what I mean? Whatever the case is. By the way, someone wrote on the side about Jesse Minter going to the Raiders. All the talk you're hearing right now from everything I'm reading, and I'm sure people are reading the rumors like me. NFL rumors are a lot different than Major League Baseball rumors, where usually if you hear about it in baseball, it means it's not going to happen. In football, when you hear about it, it means it's usually going to happen. Brian Flores, you're hearing, new head coach of the Raiders, is the lead guy right now. That Flores would be the coach of the Raiders, with Dable being the OC there with them, drafting Mendoza out of Indiana. I also heard a crazy rumor, and I'll throw this out when Mario gets here as well, but there's a crazy rumor that the Browns would be willing to offer 4 number 1s plus Shedeur Sanders to the Raiders for a chance to get Mendoza. That sounds wild.
Why would you not take that?
There's a lot there. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't. If I was the Raiders, I wouldn't.
You think Fernando Mendoza is that great?
I don't know. All I know is I saw him in person last week, and I'm like, God, this guy does. I wanted to hate the guy and root against him like crazy. And he threw one out pattern. I was like, his arm's not strong enough. I said to Josh, and then he came back and destroyed Alabama and looked great like he has. Dude, the way he reads defenses and makes decisions at what looked like an NFL level and how accurate he is, I think that's the kind of thing that plays in this league. And it's one of those things that would scare me. I think if I was another football team, I think the Raiders might get their guy, which, again, you talk about the AFC West in the future on what this division would look like would be absolutely crazy. All of a sudden, the Chiefs become by far the worst team in this division, which we all would love to see because that's the way it's supposed to be. And it would be great. By the way, the Raiders knocked off the Chiefs today, right at the very end. Carlson hits a 60-yard field goal. Kelsey's last game finishes with only 3 receptions, possibly his last game. Should be his last game. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the offseason. We're going to get into a ton of stuff because, as I said, we're doing the show 3 times a week, and we got a lot to talk about. But right now, the Chargers are still playing, and that's all that matters is Charger football. So when we come back on Tuesday, We'll figure out the time. Will probably be a little bit later in the 1 o'clock Pacific time. But please, if you subscribe to the show, you'll know exactly when we're going to be on. Follow us on social media. Josh does a good job letting you know when the show's going to start. But what time were we aiming for? Was it? Do you remember, Josh? What time we're aiming for? Is it 3 o'clock Pacific time?
I think that's what we're aiming for. Keep your eyes on the Twitter at Bolt Crew Pod, or just Twitter is where we put everything usually.
Okay, and that's where we'll go. But Mario will be back with us on Tuesday, and then of course we're getting ready for the playoffs, and we're excited about that. But thanks to everyone who joined us today. Enjoy the game tonight. Again, whoever wins between the Ravens and Steelers, that team will be in the postseason and hosting a playoff game, which is goddamn ridiculous. But that's just the way the NFL does things. All right, for Josh Palet, I'm Dave Palet. We'll catch you on Tuesday. Again, if you didn't get your comment read or you have a question for us, leave it in the YouTube comments. Josh and I will get to those as well. But otherwise, appreciate you guys always being with us on the Bolt Crew podcast.
Hey, yeah, hey, it's the Bolt Crew, and we always winning. Hey, go against us, I don't recommend it. Hey, it's the Bolt Crew, best up in the business. It's the Bolt Crew, repping for the city. Macking on and off the field like Khalil. They hate on us cause we keep it too real. I'm talking smack like Phil Rivers in the field. Oh, you mad again cause we kept it real? Why you mad? Hey, I'm talking smack, I feel like Uncle Dave. Hey, I bring the pain, I feel like Derwin James. I could run and gun, I feel like Herbo down the lane. I feel like LT the way I'm stiff arming these lanes. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah. Ay, we just wanna win, we just wanna win, ay. Putting on for the city, putting on for the city. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah.